Hello guys, welcome to Not So Complicated, a show brought to you by Innovation Consortium. This is the women's edition. I am your host for this particular episode. My name is Sasha. Brian is in the background. So here with me today, I have Daphne. Glad to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
And then I have Nasu. Glad to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
And then I have your one and only Brian Lion.
Straight away, no hijack is the abachal. This.
Okay, so we are here to discuss MAKA PADS. What are MAKA PADS? Have you heard about MAKA PADS? We're here to give you all the information. Before we go any further, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Link up with us on our social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. You can also check us out on LinkedIn. Let's dive right in. So to introduce my panelists today, I have a young, beautiful lady here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. My name is Daphne Nawera. I am the CEO of Okwezi Travel Company, and I'm really glad to be part of this. Thank you.
And then we have Nasu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. My name is Nasuna Mirembe.
And then your usual suspect, Brian Lion.
Yeah, Pepper Daddy. Hi, viewers and listeners. The love answers come on in the background. Glad to be part of the show. Yeah.
So our main topic of discussion today is MAKA PADS. Here to discuss MAKA PADS is our main guest, Nasu. How are you, Nasu?
I am okay. I am okay. Like I said, my name is Nasu Namirembe, and I'm a director in a company called Technology for Tomorrow Limited. We are the producers of MAKA PADS. These are sanitary pads.
Okay. Tell us a bit about who is Nasu.
Okay. I went to school. I did go to school. I am a wonderful product of Gaza High School, both O and A level. And then I went to Maca, did Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Finished.
You didn't talk about primary.
I went to I went to Kampala Parents. Oh my God! I went to Kampala Parents. It's so great because I went to Kampala Parents, then did Gaza for O and A level, then went to Maca University, did Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Finished many years ago. Please do not ask me how long that was.
Those are quite some schools. You don't have any village school.
No village school. I'm blessed like that to have. No. Did civil engineering. After that, I did a postgraduate diploma in project planning and management at UMI. Then I did a master's in public infrastructure management.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how much books I have, and some other few things. But that's kind of who I am, grounded in that. But on the other side of me, after all of that, being a director in Technology for Tomorrow is something I do out of passion and out of the fact that there is a need. That yes, civil engineering is nice, but you need to do something that gives back. So this is why I'm also a director here in Technology for Tomorrow Limited.
So wasoma civil na ye olimu pads simanyi bikwataganira. Let to get them mass.
I'm a girl child.
Girl power. So we would like to know, our viewers and listeners would like to know, tell us about how MAKA PADS came about. How did the name come about? When was the idea generated? Who birthed this idea? Yes.
Okay. MAKA PADS was birthed in about 2002, 2003. My father, the late Dr. Engineer Moses Musazi, was tasked by a colleague that you've innovated so many things. He was such a great guy. He innovated so many beautiful things, but it was all about making people's lives better, improving livelihood, especially for people living in poverty or without enough. And after innovating, I think the first big thing was the interlocking stabilized soil blocks. What you see this building right behind us, those are made from those blocks. And so this lady says, but you man, you have innovated so many things. Now there's a challenge. The girl child is not going to school, she's missing school, she's getting pregnant early. And a research by UNICEF had said that these girls are unable to go to school or miss some days in school because they do not have the basic need of a sanitary pad. And yes, they have what they're using, but it doesn't make them comfortable. So they feel like they cannot go to school. So I told him, if you can innovate beautiful things and do all these big things, why can't you then innovate a sanitary pad? And I remember that day, he keeps telling the story that this lady got a pad and threw it in his face. I told him, you create a sanitary pad.
Wow.
Just like that.
It was a challenge. It was a real big challenge. And I know,
sure.
I mean, I am a girl with 4 brothers. So he's only known kind of the boy side of thing. And then I was also such a tomboy as much as a girl. And,
no wonder I told him stay.
So because of that, he then, and my father loved the challenge. He kind of looked at it and said, fine, if I can, and then this is a need. He was always drawn by, if there is a need, then there must be a way we can innovate something.
Yes.
So that journey really started out that, so he went, and he grew up as almost like the only child because his siblings had actually died. So he goes back to his auntie who looked after him and asked her, what did you use? I mean, she's an old woman now.
Yes.
This is 2002. And she said, we used to use back cloth and old cloth.
As pads?
Yes, but not as pads really. It's more like a cloth that can use to manage your blood, to manage your menstruations. Yeah, you just get your old blouse and wrap it up, and then wear it, and then walk around or use back cloth. This is what was available.
Yeah.
And of course, even in the schools, the research that UNICEF had done and UNHCR, they were looking at saying, these girls are saying, what do you use? Polythene, sponge. I squat on a hole for those many days.
Polythene?
Yeah, polythene.
Yes.
Because I could see the great thing that the pads at the bottom of it have actually polythene. Because what you're trying that after when it seeps through you, when the blood goes through you, then it should not.
It shouldn't leave a mark.
Sure.
So it shouldn't come out. So that will save.
Okay.
So people have used cow dung. We've gone to school where people are using cow dung, and then you know, like how in some cultures or some areas in Uganda where they get cow dung and then smear it on the walls.
Yeah, sure.
And then it doesn't allow the water to penetrate. These are people who are innovating.
Wow.
So because of that, then they get the cow dung and then smear it on
Behind.
no, they just smear it on the ground or something. When it dries, then you get like this kind of paper. Like so, it's now made of cow dung. Then that's what they wear. Because it also absorbs and then also can retain. So people have been creating these pads for a while. So from all those, then you looked and said, okay, what else can I use? Because all those things are not sanitary. I mean, they are dirty. Even the clothes, where do you get the water from? The water is so many miles away. So the journey really started, what can I use? He tried cassava. Because cassava has that kind of starch. It can absorb and then retain, but then also not too long. But then cassava is something we eat. That may not be so nice. Like I actually and then like
big then you're wearing something made from cassava.
People are starving. You're using cassava to wear.
Exactly.
Imagine me coming to your house and I find cassava and I'm like, no cassava. Why am I related to David?
So that idea kind of
like, where has this cassava been?
Yes, I'm not too sure. Then he tried water hyacinth. At that time, water hyacinth. Remember, water hyacinth was on Lake Victoria, and it was completely. And people were trying to find out what do I use water hyacinth for. So he used water hyacinth, but then the process of getting water hyacinth to actually get the product was very expensive and very tedious.
Yes. What is water hyacinth?
Water hyacinth is that plant that has
that green chido.
On the one
that is eating the leg.
Yes, and at that time, I remember that time it was actually such a big thing. It was so much water hyacinth. It was all over, but then the process of trying to break it down to actually get the product was becoming very tedious. Then he tried elephant grass. You see, all the things I'm talking about, the things you know in your world. Elephant grass, because you've seen cows and they eat it. Also has fiber. What I was trying to look for, what can absorb and then what can retain. So, light bulb moment. He remembers that as he was growing up, he's a man born in Maca. So he remembered that they would sleep on papyrus mats. I mean, there was no those wonderful mattresses you could sleep on. Yeah. So on a papyrus mat, that when you would wake up in the morning, and remember how we all used to urinate while young? When you woke up in the morning, it's dry.
There's no urine on the floor.
Yes, there's no urine on the floor. Yeah. And you're like, so what happened to the urine? You know you sued last night.
But you don't see that.
But there's no
urine.
Then remember, so that means this papyrus has a way which it will soak up that water, your urine, and then retain it. So that was the light bulb moment. If this papyrus can hold water in this viscosity state, and hold it and then retain it, then means it should be able to hold blood.
And water is not as thick as blood. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how the issue of how did we get to papyrus. One, papyrus is very much readily available. There are vast hectares of papyrus in Uganda. You need a product that if you're going to make a product, you need to be able to show you cannot run out of resources.
Yeah.
Now, paper. How did we come up with paper? Paper he was a lecturer in Maca University. He has marked 1,000 papers for years. I lectured in 1975, and this is 2002. So much paper, and the university is wondering what to do with it. There are heaps and heaps of all your exam papers, even in school. All of us went to school, did an exam on some booklet.
Yes.
Where does that
but we
paper
don't
go?
keep them.
Even the Rolex,
And then you try,
the Rolex guys usually pack Rolexes for us in those papers.
Now that's the thing. So, but then
Yes.
other people are going to try to create a bonfire. You might actually kill the whole of Uganda trying to burn that paper. Just imagine one exam in Makerere
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
for all the faculties. How much paper is that? And they don't give us back those papers. So because it was a lecture, you looked and said, but there's a resource here. The paper has a kind of starch in it, which is a natural product. So if I get my papyrus, I have paper. Those two things, fiber, which is absorbing, the paper, which gives me the starch.
Yeah.
And I'll take you through the production process and you see actually how it works. Can it be affordable? So that was the idea of, can I use products
Yes.
that of natural materials or materials that are actually available in the environment, and also be made sure that even after I do them, that after this pad is done and you're done using it and you deposit of it, will it degrade? So these pads are actually, because you have papyrus and paper, biodegradable. So it's again over 90% biodegradable. Again,
Okay.
I use it, I throw it away, and then it biodegrades.
If I may take you back,
That's impressive.
why Maca?
Maca.
We have some other we have other pads. What you know the names,
Yes.
but why Maca?
Maca. Actually, it's Maca. You guys are just calling the name.
Yeah,
You're calling out the name.
Maca.
Are we
Yes.
calling it out, or we are just using our accents on the
You're using,
name?
Wait,
you're using
it's
accents
what?
on them.
It's
It's
what?
called Maca pads.
Maca.
They're called Maca pads.
Maca.
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 Yeah, Maca
A
home.
home.
Exactly.
Sure.
So why?
That actually makes sense.
Me, I'm saying
Now the good
Maca.
thing, so they're actually not called Maca pads. They're called Maca pads.
Maca pads.
Yeah, not Maca pads
Waka.
or Mac pads. People like
Maca.
pulling that thing. No, they're
Yeah.
called Maca pads. Why? A Maca is where every one of us comes from, and we know that a home is built by a woman.
Is
if,
it?
If a woman is built by a woman, you can have a house.
A home is
but
built by a woman.
Yes.
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 So those of us who are not yet married, we don't have homes.
Yes.
No, you have a house.
You have a house.
But
You don't have a home.
You don't have a home. So
Akubye nnyo.
Women's edition.
Women's edition, please.
Yeah, please.
So Maca means
Yeah.
home, because our Maca is where, first of all of us come from home. It is important that you have, everyone feels that I actually come from home. Whatever issues are there, you come from home. That was very important, because these are basic needs. Like Akemba. So Maca meaning home. If a lady is in a home and she's supposed to be happy, if that home will never be, if a woman is not unhappy, there's nothing in the house that's going to be happy.
Trouble.
So one, it was these women, because first of all, we're even the biggest population. Now, if you make us happy, means the world is going to actually be a better place. So one, that was the issue, home. The other issue about it, that these products are actually made at home. Why? Because as you're trying to make a pad that's going to be used by a woman, it was important that the woman is also part of the process.
Sure.
But then again, these women are not like us in this stage of ours where I leave and go to work, and then I leave my maid to look after my child and look after the home, and then I come home at 8 p.m. He was also mindful that we must yet alleviate a woman out of poverty and give her a job. But then again, she also needs to take care of her home. So if can I stay at home, make part of this product, and yet also do it in my home. So this product is called Maca because they are made in people's homes.
Oh.
You know, by women who make homes. And then, first of all, then the children are there, they're taken care of, they have a good home, they have their mother there, they have their parents there, and then everything. So they're made at home, and then every byproduct is made at home, and then finally brought to the factory in Kawempe for the final production process. So that was why the Maca was. But then again, see, my dad was actually one of those people. He also thought, MAKA is also an acronym. M is for menstruation. This is a menstruation. I think we're talking about
Yes,
menstruation.
menstruation.
The A is we're talking about affordability. It should be affordable. Remember I said they had all these things, but then we are thinking about it should be affordable.
In this economy.
Yes, in this economy, exactly. Even before. K is for knowledge. People don't have an idea what menstruation is, what are the effects of menstruation, who does it affect. People think pads, sanitary pads are only for women, but they are also for men. Because one, the men are the breadwinners in most homes, so they actually buy. If I am in my periods, the man is going to be affected, isn't it?
Yes.
There's something you said, that when women are in periods, men suffer.
Yes.
I do not understand.
I'm going to ask.
And then earlier on, I've seen we are the factory, and I've seen lots of ladies. I've actually haven't seen any man here. Tell us about why we have only women at the factory. The supplier was a woman, and now we have women everywhere.
No, actually, they actually
The involvement, yeah.
they actually men involved in this. Why? Let me first go back to the first question. How does it affect? Because you see, when I'm going through my period, because of the stigma issue, is that I'm going to feel like
Oh, a bit
like
inferior.
I'm dirty, I'm unclean. Where does that come from? When a man when you tell a man, oh, he wants to have sex with him, you say, I'm in my period. What does he do?
Yeah.
There's that whole shift, eh?
I'm a virgin. I'm a virgin, so I don't know what
Okay,
to think
when you
about.
grow up, you will understand. But that whole issue that you see, even the fact that you know what, you have a sister today, and when you sometimes the moment when you have a headache, you have a stomach ache, you don't feel happy. You're sad. Now, if a man doesn't know that, they start saying, let's take it back to the context of school. You kind of are wearing that cloth and you want to go to the toilet. Or you want to go check yourself out every time. If the teacher doesn't know, you're going to say, but Nasuna, why are you always going to the toilet? Now, what am I doing?
Sure.
I'm trying to go to the toilet to check myself if I'm whatever.
Staying.
When I go to the toilet in these schools and you've forgotten that you should at least put a nail, where I can put my handbag, and then I change. You should give me water, just water to wash my hands. If the men don't know, and yet they're the ones who build these things,
Who built this thing?
you will never actually think about, I should enlarge in a woman's toilet, I should put that nail cutter and change myself, I should put water. Not for just washing, but for the sake of I probably need to clean myself. Without that knowledge, you don't know. You're unhappy because, let me tell you, that day your wife is supposed to, let's say, be working somewhere, and she fails to go to that shop because she's in her period and wondering to stay in herself, the breadwinning side of it, of her contribution to the home, will not be there.
And she's in pain, by the way.
And she's in pain, and then you're wondering, but what's wrong with you? She's slower today.
Yes.
The food is not that good. But if you knew, you'd probably say, oh, let me get you some headaches. Can I make you some juice today? Can I maybe hold the baby today? If you only
Some
knew.
support from a man.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now, this is off topic. What happens? Most of the women, when they're in their periods, they tend to be in trouble. Very mad all the time. Mood swings here and
That's
there.
hormonal.
Well,
it
what
is
is
something that is
have-
scientific. Like scientifically, we
we
can't
have
control.
hormones.
Yeah.
And when we are in our periods, there's a lot that is going on in a woman's body.
Oh.
First of all, she's in constant pain, and it's hurting that the people around can't tell that she's in pain. You understand? She still has to show up. She still has to do almost everything that she was doing normally, and nobody cares because she's in pain.
Do you feel bad that we
And-
people don't go through the same?
No, actually, we feel bad that we go through it because we don't even wish anybody else to go through it. When women are in their periods, that they have mixed feelings. So today she's bloated for no reason. You're just there. You don't want to eat, but you're bloated.
Yeah.
And the following day, you want to be with the man, but you can't be with the man because you're in your periods. So there's like a lot. So those feelings come up, and they really mix up a woman's head so much, and she wants to withdraw. And so when people are in her face, the best thing to do is maybe to be rude or anything, but it's not intentional. It's just because the body is going through a lot of changes that are affecting her mental status.
Okay, so we would like to know, are MAKA pads reusable? What makes them unique? Why should someone choose MAKA pads over any other pads on the market?
Okay. First of all, there are quite a number of products of sanitary pads now in the market. But for us, we proudly say, one, MAKA pads are made by Ugandans, using Ugandan products. And
Ugandans.
they are proudly Ugandan. So let's start with, this is Bubu. Maca pads, like I told you, are made from papyrus and paper. That means they are biodegradable. After you're done using it, be mindful again that after you're done using it and you have to throw it away. Where you throw it, you should not be able to, you should not be destroying. So they are biodegradable means papyrus and paper will obviously rot. The other bit, yes, take a while, but that's kind of the standard. So the biodegradable is also something. So we're mindful about how you dispose, and then also the environment that after that.
Sure.
Now, they are definitely disposable sanitary pads. Why not reusable? Because as we're trying to go and treat manage our menstruation hygiene management, like I issue about, is this young girl we're looking at lives somewhere in a rural area or somewhere where maybe water is not readily accessible to her. She's going to have to walk about 1 kilometer away. When she's walking that 1 kilometer, that's probably where she's going to find some man who's going to tell her some stories, and next she's pregnant. Because they've told her that, hey, when you have all these problems she was talking about, and these cramps and everything, that if you sleep with me, those cramps will go away.
Oh, okay.
Why? Because she will get pregnant.
Blackmail.
Now,
Yeah.
it's simple. So what we're doing is that, one, we're looking at how again, the issue about how someone uses them. So those pads, reusable water. Let's look. Water, she's finally walked to the well. But how clean is that water? Enough that she's going to wash it, and how much of it will she use to wash it? After we're done, we were thinking about, okay, she's washed it with whatever water it is. Okay, maybe it's clean. Then she dries it where? I don't know about your village. I come from Maca, and I have never seen a clothes line in my village where clothes are actually hung on a line. Are they there? I don't know where you come from, Tasha.
No.
So
You've seen a clothes line where they actually hang. You're lucky that most of the time they hang on the grass, on the fence, anything. And then after that, okay. So she's put on the grass where the goat passed, and then the chicken passed. That means it's getting dirtier. Now after that, you see in our culture also, I am a Muganda, proudly Muganda. And in our culture, you do not hang your underwear outside.
Outside, yes.
Now these reusable pads, they say you're supposed to put them out. Now before she was using a blouse, an old blouse, which means even if she washes it and puts it on the line, no one will know. Now you've given her a cool,
a cool pad.
figure. That shows her underparts and how they actually
hanging.
And then you hang it outside. Our culture, I don't know which culture we're from, but there is no way in our culture they do not allow it.
They don't.
Whole African culture.
Exactly. So where does she hang it? Means she's going to get it, put it, I don't know where, because again, look at where she's also living. The house is with everyone, with the chicken, the goats, the mommy, the daddy, the brother. Remember, we're saying people have the stigma of, I don't want people to know I'm in my period.
Oh, yeah.
So where is she going to hang it? She's going to put it where? Under the papyrus mat, dirtiness, sanitation. So we're looking about how someone uses it. Like how do you actually thinking about how actually use? So all those factors, soap. What's the cost of soap? Do you actually believe that there's going to be a girl after she's failed to buy a sanitary pad that she's going to buy, there's going to be soap, the soap that we used to wash the clothes, the soap that we used to wash my pad, the soap that we used to wash the plates and dishes, in what basin? The way that all of us bathe in and wash things in and all those things. So this packet of MAKA pads has 10. This one has 3. This is for 2,500 shillings.
Only? With 10?
With 10.
Yeah, with 10.
And this is 3 for 1,000 shillings. Why?
Oh.
If I'm going to ask Sasha, let me even ask our, if you are being honest, how many pads do you use per day? Normal flow. Let's go into my normal. How many?
Normal flow,
normal flow, 4 per day.
4, maybe 3,
Yeah, maybe
3 to 4.
Yeah,
Wait.
3 to 4.
Are you
Pads
guys
a day.
for real?
Yes.
Pads a day.
You change 3 pads
Yes,
in a day?
Yes. That means
3 to 4.
every 6 hours or 8 hours.
Proud to be a man.
So, if I am going to go, how many days do you usually go?
4, 5.
4, 5 days.
3 days.
Some 6.
Some 6.
Yeah.
If you're on a good, you do 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's look at the lowest person
So
taking
you've done
3 pads a day.
7,500.
No. Let's do 3 pads a
3
day
pads a day
for 3
days.
For 3 days. That's when we are normal.
Yes.
Eh?
So you
Yeah.
need 2 of
That means you
these.
need 3 times 3
Yes,
is 9.
Yes.
I use 1 packet for 2,500.
Oh, it has 10.
It has
Because
10.
it has
That's
10.
why we chose
Wow.
10. we're also thinking about how you actually are going to use it. Yes, because we're talking about affordability. What's the lowest, denomination we know?
1,000.
Akasa. That's how this came about.
So 1K per day.
1K. Now,
Per
why?
day, yeah.
1K that if this young girl and your girl is going to do P7, S4, S6, and worst case scenario, she has to go to school and sit the exam without wondering if she will stain herself in the middle of the math exam. You give her this
Can
one pad.
afford
It takes
1K and she gets herself.
this pad, because of the issue of papyrus, actually can absorb for 6 to 8 hours. So it means she can wear one pad and go to
Throughout
school the
her
whole
examination
day.
day.
Go home,
Oh yeah.
the next day, and the
Nadamuna,
next day. Now, good enough with CASA that probably the next day I would have gotten another CASA.
Mamukayiza.
Now, this means the girl will continue staying in school. That woman will stay at her stall and go to her business. If you are going to your village, bro?
Barara.
Barara. Now, how long does it take to get to Barara?
4 hours, 5
Now,
hours.
if I sit with this pad for 4 hours and I sit in them, and remember those buses don't stop, eh?
I know.
So it means this girl, if I was going to Kabale, I worked in Kabale for a full year, it's about 7 hours. I can comfortably wear this pad in the morning and I sit on that bag, and I will get to Kabale and I'm safe.
Okay.
Issue about why, the comfort about why I say choose MAKA pads. One, because it has the natural product, the natural materials, means even when my blood gets in and stays and absorbs and gets retained, because it's a natural product, whatever it gives back, remember what every action there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yes.
Now, even whatever my blood has, because that's sports blood, whatever comes out after that is going to keep me safe because there's no chemical. Means I will not itch, I will not get wounds, I will not have any future problems because I'm using natural, the rashes that we usually get.
Briefly tell us about some of the challenges you are facing as MAKA pads.
The journey is still, one of the, like you said, we are trying to make sure that this becomes 100%.
Sure.
And obviously we can't innovate everything, so we're looking out for people who can, because what we want is 100% biodegradable. So that's one of our challenges. As we also grow is people affordability. Even with 2,500 and 1,000, people still say it's not affordable.
It's not affordable.
Because they just, the way the economy is, it's just so hard. So we're going to a park where we're actually going to be able to pack just one pad. So that I can actually just buy a pad for that particular moment.
200 shillings.
Like 200 shillings?
Yeah, about that much.
500 shillings.
200 again, looking at about that, because people have like a 200 coin. Be careful how you do it. It's always about what are people used to, what the current people mostly have. That's how people will make it. The other bit is that there's a need. Asadin says 80% of rural women and girls cannot afford or access. So our biggest challenge is that I have a wonderful product here, and very few people know about it. I need people to market this product more. But most of all, I need to reach to those places in our villages where even the normal sanitary pads you buy at 3,000, they are there at 5,000. What you buy at 5,000 is 10,000 there. So affordability and accessibility is one of our biggest challenges. How do I get this product there?
Okay, so let's move on to what does the future for MAKA pads look like? Where can we find MAKA pads? Are you on social media? Where can we find you in this era of the internet?
Okay, first of all, MAKA pads, like I said, the first time we finally finished this product, the first R&D, 2004. We started out by saying this, we had a big order with UNHCR. So we're going a lot to the refugees, and we actually opened up a factory there, and we were able to do that. After a while, that business model changed. So what we are now is, one, we are opening up factories in rural areas. So that one, because rural areas already have this papyrus, there's a need for people getting a job. If the pads are near you, means they will be cheaper and they will be affordable and accessible to you. Any transport from Kampala, Kawempe, where we are now, and you're going to Gulu, it's going to be on a So we are actually looking for partners, and we've partnered with people where we are partnering now with Nabagereka Foundation. We're opening up a factory in Wakiso. We've partnered with Action for Health Uganda and their youth programs. We're opening up a factory in Mitiana. When I open up in Mitiana, means all those areas around can be able to run. We have people who are looking for, are going to be our sales agents, and they are. I do the product, the suppliers at their home are there. Men and women, Brian, men and women are there. We are very specific. We say 80% of our staff should be women. Again,
Very
empowerment of
You
women.
guys
Like
have
empowerment.
emancipation.
Very
Yeah,
important.
it's not any-
Who really cares about the boy child? By the way, that so-called women.
Brian, this is the women's edition.
But Brian,
Okay,
This
okay.
is the women's
one of the things
edition.
about understand a woman, because a woman is so used to nurturing and caring that even when she gets that money, her first instinct is all the children, all the what. A man will get and say, let's go hang out.
You need to begin
a woman will
giving
think,
us,
let me first buy food at home.
You need to begin giving us Kameza money, because this emancipation thing, you've taken all the jobs, you've taken everything. I've seen only
but we're
women
taking
here.
care of the homes. We buy that food.
It's about time. Because actually we use that money
to actually
to improve and
not ourselves.
It's only a few of you. I need to understand the mathematics.
When you get married, you
get married.
But anyway, what is MAKA PADS Twitter, MAKA PADS Facebook, MAKA PADS Instagram, just do MAKA PADS. TikTok. Oh my God! I'm going to make you do a TikTok handle. And another thing that I want to say that look, we are still looking out for people who are willing to partner with us. One, you may not say I have the money, but you could buy a sanitary pad. You may be a man, Brian, but you have sisters or you have people in the village. While you're going home, instead of buying them just rice and sugar,
and
take
bread,
a box of sanitary pads.
Yeah.
And actually you don't have to use it.
Yes, we've never thought about it.
Yeah, and give them out. And give them out to these young girls in the school. At least tell yourself in Maca school, that school you went through, that village school you talked about, make it something that you do every time. Every time, drop a box, and every time you say, every time I'll bring it, and this will be the emergency box. We are at our supplier's place, and where we are right now is where we make the papyrus absorbent paper. And the journey really starts with paper. I am mindful that you do not see that this is a Makerere University. This is paper from one of our exams. So the issue about MAKA PADS is use what you have. If I tear it into pieces and soak it in water for a while, after a few hours, I will get this product. This is after it has soaked for a while and I've rubbed it. After a few hours, it's a nice thick paste. So this is one of our first products. Now, obviously, as I do this, I'm trying to get to what is going to absorb our MAKA PADS. What's going to be the absorbent material? So, like I said, since it's paper and papyrus. So what I have here is then the papyrus. This is papyrus harvested and processed. It is grounded and then dried. So what I have is just some kind of fiber and cut into a specific size. This too is actually what makes the magic about MAKA PADS. So I use paper and papyrus. Now, when I combine these two things, obviously I can't tell you what I mix, exactly what the portions are, but this is what I'll finally get. So now, because this papyrus is like more of a powder, it's very hard to say how is it going to actually get me into a paper. So when I mix it with that paper, I'll get this product. Now, as you can see, after this, I kind of can make a paste. I can actually form a paste. Why? Because the paper has that starch in it. Now, the starch in the paper and my papyrus as the fiber, which actually is what is the magic about absorption, is what finally will then get me to what I called my papyrus absorbent paper. So when this is mixed with water, then we start making the papyrus paper. So this is one of our suppliers. This product is made at their homes. The issue about Maca. So what she's doing then is to try to make a paper out of it. So we just mix that product with a little bit more water, and then she starts to. It's a very simple method. So what we're doing is she's putting it on sieves, which later on we shall then take for drying. So what we're doing here is just drying this in the sun. One, we try to actually avoid using any kind of mechanisms apart from what we have, what God has given us. So we're drying this in the sun, and after a while, this is how it looks like when it's dry. The moment it's dry, the moment it's dry, it just comes off. Again, as you can see, we're actually using just simple. This is a normal kitchen knife, and then it quickly comes off. And what you have is this paper. This is what we call our papyrus absorbent paper. So from the supplier where we have been, this is what we receive at the factory. This is a papyrus paper that we saw that had been dried. So what happened, because this is a bit hard. I mean, if you try to put it into a sanitary pad, it might be a little bit too hard for the lady to wear. So what the first step here, after we receive this and we've checked that they are actually the right quality we want, then they are softened. So this is the softening machine. These machines are also made by our kind gentleman in Katwe, but also innovated by Dr. Msazi to simply soften this paper. This is again the other paper we do. The other one had papyrus and paper, and this one has paper only. Why? Because white is important to take of cleanliness for ladies. So if you're having this sanitary pad, we're also thinking about the final outlook. So we have a white paper, which this is only paper, and then it's also dried using the same method, same thing like we saw before, and then it's also softened. So same thing again, we don't want something that's hard, that's going to be very uncomfortable for a woman. So we're trimming this to size. Both the papyrus paper and then the white paper also trimmed to size. The size is already put on this machine, so it's just simple for the team to actually do. After we have done the trimming, which is where we were just before, is that these are now all trimmed to size, both the white and the papyrus paper. So what makes a sanitary pad? The bottom is a polythene. This is what every standard sanitary pad has. And the top is what we call non-woven material. This is the one that has the holes, which allows the blood to penetrate. The only difference between all sanitary pads is what we use to absorb. So like I said, for MAKA pads, it is the paper, this is the white paper, and then the papyrus and paper absorbent sheets. So after these are trimmed, what I do is that I do put, the bottom has the polythene, obviously to allow the blood not to go to your panty. And then on top I have the non-woven, which allows the blood to penetrate because of the holes. So what we're doing, what this lady is doing right now is to seal. So she gets this and then seals it into the sanitary pad. So these are simple, this is I think the one step in all our product that actually uses electricity. But this is very little, just it's a simple tap. So what she's doing is sealing tightly, ensuring that this absorbent paper is sealed very well into these two materials. So what we're doing is then packaging them ready for sale. Of course, after we are done all of this, then we actually have to sterilize them. So we sterilize them using UV light so that we are sure that everything is clean and ready for a lady to use. So we package, then after it's packaged, we sterilize them, then package in boxes and then send them out to the market.
Our dear viewers and listeners, we're closing this show up. Brian, what did you learn about MAKA pads?
Well, MAKA pads are affordable. MAKA pads are made out of papyrus and paper. However, yeah, a good innovation. Yeah, I'm impressed. I can always grab a few for my village people. Thank you.
Nasu?
For us, really, I just go back to MAKA: menstruation, administration, knowledge, affordability. That's what we stand for. And I hope you have learned so much about that today.
Nice.
Daphne?
Yeah, I was actually delighted to find pads that are quite affordable, packed in packages that are convenient and affordable, and also loved the fact that they're very mindful of the environment. And yes, it's possible. You can be a woman and still have a decent menstruation. Thank you.
All right, that's it from us. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Tell your friends about it. Share the link. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Women's Day, guys.
Happy
Women's Day.
Bye.
You can have a house.
A home is
but
built by a woman.
Yes.
So those of us who are not married, we don't have homes.
Yes.
No, you have a house.
You have a house.
But
You don't have a home.
You don't have a home. So
Akubienyo.
Women's edition.
Women's edition, please.
Yeah.